Witness the Agonizer 9000!
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to show you guys a level 57 Zane build that allows you to do everything on Mayhem 4 pretty easily. Now, like the last two builds I've done, one for Moze and one for Amara, this build is a level 57, is in Mayhem 4, but it is still using pretty much all level 50 items, but you're still able to do everything on Mayhem 4, making it much easier to gear for this build to still be able to farm everything on Mayhem 4 pretty decently. So with that being said, now we can go into the talents. So before we go into the talents, we have to go into the class mod because it dictates a lot of our talent choices. And we're using the Seeing Dead class mod, which is still one of the strongest class mods in the entirety of the game. And pretty much what this does, whenever you shoot an enemy with your weapon, you have a chance to activate all of your kill skills. Additionally, those kill skills are 25% stronger. And also, your clone can proc this as well. Pretty much once you're in combat for a few seconds, all of your kill skills will always be procced. Even ones, say the one that has a chance to fire an additional shot your next 5 shots, you'll have that up pretty much all of the time when in combat. So all of them will always be up, making this incredibly strong. And another reason why we can use all level 50 gear and still do Mayhem 4 at level 57, which is a pretty big jump in terms of power of enemies. We can still do this with that gear because of just how strong the synergies with this build are and how strong, particularly how strong the class mod is. So the first tree is doubled agent because this is very important. This is also an infinite ammo build. So first off, synchronicity, you get 20% gun damage per active action skill. Then we have increased magazine size by 25%. Mainly you want to get, since we are using rocket launchers, more specifically a Scourge for most of the time, mainly you want with a rocket launcher to be able to fire 2 shots before reloading. Now I have 2 additional shots, you only need 1, but you want to be able to fire 2 shots without having to reload. That's a pretty big part of this build to get out more damage. Donnybrook, one of the strongest talents in the game, it's a kill skill. Whenever you kill an enemy, you and your digiclone gain increased gun damage and health regen stacked twice, 32%. Now this doesn't show the increased effectiveness from your class mod, so this is much stronger. We also have another 25% increased effectiveness for kill skills from another talent. So this, all the kill skills are 50% stronger than they actually show. We have Fractal Grenade, or Fractal Frags, which is pretty good. Your digiclone throws a copy of Zane's current grenade bomb when it's first activated, but then every kill skill proc has a chance to have him throw another grenade, and since you're constantly getting those procs, your digiclone will be throwing grenades around everywhere, which will add a good amount of damage. Duct tape mod, mainly to get lower in the tree. Every first shot of your weapon, you have a chance to shoot out a grenade. From your class mod, Quick Breather, this is very important. Whenever Zane swaps places with his clone, he immediately begins recharging his shield and restores health to his clone up to 50% of the clone's health. And with this build, your action skills are out a lot of the time, possibly all of the time you're in combat, so being able to heal your clone is incredibly important to keep it alive. Then we have Pocketful Grenades. You only need 1 point in this when you pretty much just a kill skill that gives you grenade regeneration percentage per second. And the reason you need this is because of Boom Enhance, which use up to 3 grenades when you summon your digiclone, which gives him a massive amount of buffs for every grenade consumed. So you always want to have enough grenades to get all the buffs from this. So that's why we go 1 into Pocketful Grenades. It will absolutely be enough. Then we have Supersonic Man, 12% movement speed per active action skill, which is a good movement speed increase. We also get damage from that from another talent. Trick of the Light, Zane deals bonus cryo damage to enemies that aren't targeting him, 36%. And then double barrel, super important. Your clone now gets whatever weapon you are currently using when you summon it. And that is very important to how we do our infinite ammo with this build. And it also gives gun damage plus 25% when you swap places with your clone. And for a clone, we're using whatever this is called, which whenever the clone takes damage, Zane's shield is restored by a portion of that damage. Super good. And then which one's real? Enemies are more likely to attack your clone after it's summoned for 4 seconds and after swapping places. So majority of the time, pretty much all the time, you're going to have, or your clone's going to have pretty much a soft taunt to enemies majority of the time because you want to keep swapping places with it. Next tree is Hitman, which is majority of our kill skills. Violent speed, kill skill increases your movement speed by 30%, stacked twice. It's also more than that, like I said, it's 50% more. Then we have violent momentum. The faster you're moving, the more damage you get, 20% at base walk speed. Then we have Cool Hand, which is a reload skill, which is actually really important for this build, which you get 50% increased reload speed, and then a kill skill that stacks twice is 30% each time, which is very important because having as much reload is really good because this is an infinite ammo build, but not in your magazine. So you do have to keep reloading. Then we have 3 into salvation. Don't need more than this. You could probably use less points in this, to be honest, but to kill skill, it's just lifesteal. That's pretty much all it is. It stacks once. At 3, it's 9%. That's enough. You could probably go 1 into this and for the most part be fine. Then death follows close. This gives our action or our kill skills another 25% increase bonus, which gives us our 50, and then an increase to the duration by 7 seconds. Then playing dirty, which mine's at 105% right now. It's a kill skill. Your next 5 shots have a chance of firing an additional projectile. Depending on what kind of rolls you get on your class mod, I got 2 on mine. You want to get this to 100%. Mine's at 105, but just get it to 100% because this is a massive damage increase. This pretty much just makes whatever weapon you're firing, unless you're using something with a really high fire rate, but we're using rocket launcher build, it makes every rocket actually shoot twice. It's incredibly strong with this specific build. Then I put a few points. How many points did I put into this? I put 2 into fire rate, which gives us a fire rate that stacks twice as a kill skill. Now, this is pretty good because the Scourges do have fire rate. They're really slow firing, but getting an increase of that can help quite a bit to be cycling through that ammo faster because every shot we fire is firing 2 projectiles, and these projectiles are doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Then good misfortune. This is a very important part of the build. Kill skill that increases your action skill duration with diminishing returns. But since you're proccing this so much, if you're in combat constantly fighting stuff, you can pretty much have both your kill skills up all of the time. Literally 100% of the time you're in combat. Unless it dies, it's pretty much going to stay alive if you're constantly fighting. And for a drone, we are using Bad Dose, which just gives you some additional effects when your drone basically attacks things. And then static field, your drone pretty much steals shields from an enemy to replenish yours, which is also very good because of a lot of the gear we're using. So that is the entirety of the build. Now we can go into our items. Now, like I said, I am still using all level 50 items, so this build is still good enough with all level 50 items to do everything on Mayhem 4 at 57, just because of these being well-rolled items and then all the synergies. Now, if you were to go get all level 57 items that weren't well-rolled, you would most likely still be as strong or stronger. So if you look at, say, an ion cannon that's level 57 right here, it's at 32,000 damage. And if you look at a level 51, that's times 2, it's 17,000. So this would probably be, I think they're around 20 or 22,000 without a times 2 level 50. That is a ridiculous increase. This would probably be 30,000 times 2 around there at level 57. And that damage increase is massive. It's probably going to be better than having the best rolled ones with the best anointed rolls from level 50. So if you just go and farm the level 57 version of these items, which would be pretty easy without getting anointed rolls, you're going to be as strong or stronger. Now, with that being said, this is a very specialized build, so you need a lot of items. First off, the artifact, because this is how you keep infinite ammo. Now, this is ammo refill when meleeing something to your allies. Your clone will take into consideration of this artifact, so if you use a face puncher, that every pellet is considered a melee attack with this ammo regen, and you make sure to have your face puncher out when you're summoning your clone. Every time it shoots, when your rocket launcher's out, it gives you full rocket launcher ammo back, so you're never gonna have to worry about running out of rocket launcher ammo. I would recommend having a times 14 face puncher because it can help your clone do quite a bit of damage. Also, with the secondary role of this artifact, or the legendary effect, the one that deals elemental damage whenever you melee an enemy is really good because your clone is going to be shooting melee hits on enemies, so that will help and give it a bit of a big damage increase. And then for the secondary roles, anything you want, magazine size to make sure you can you 2 shots between reloading. Grenade damage is good. Electrocute chance is good if you're using, something that electrocutes. We already went over our class mod. For the secondary rules, you pretty much know weapon damage. Grenade damage is good because our clone is constantly throwing grenades out, so that is pretty decent. The sniper rifle damage does nothing for me, so you could do better with that. For the shield, this is absolutely the best shield for this build. The version O.M, which is pretty much a amp shield that when you shoot, it takes away 20 or 25% of your shield and massively amps your weapon damage for that shot. I think it's 125%, make it the highest amp shield. Also, since your clone is taking your shield into consideration, it will get that amp, but also the special of this shield is that when your shield breaks, it drops a circle below you that does like a 25% amp damage when standing in it, and your clone, every time its shield breaks, it will drop one of those as well. So when you're switching places with your clone all the time, you'll constantly be in one of those little circles that will be giving you more amp damage. And then you pretty much just want any of the on actions go end gain elemental damage. These aren't going to proc a lot, so these are absolutely not very important to the build because you can get one of these on your grenade and your shield, but since your action goes are going to be active majority of the time, they're not going to be ending a lot. You're not going to get the procs of these very much. So pretty much if you're going for the best rolls, just get 2 separate on actions go end elemental damage rolls on your grenade and shield mod, and your grenade mod pretty much just use anything that has tracking, the track stuff, because if it's not something that tracks, your clone probably is not going to hit its grenades very well. So hunter seekers, they track stuff around. You can use hexes, anything like that tracks is going to be good. Now for our main weapons, mainly I'm using scourges. Any scourges come in any element, they're super good. You could just shoot them in the air and all the small projectiles come off and hit everything. Super strong. Now I do have a lot of them because I've had these for a long time, and there are the level 50 versions, as I've said, that after swapping places with your digiclone, you get 130% increased weapon damage, which you also get 25% additional effect from one of our talents. So that is the best anointed you can possibly get. Makes these level 50 ones much stronger. So this is super good. This is good for boss fighting and for mobbing. I would definitely recommend these for mobbing, but if you want something that's a little bit stronger for boss fighting, you can do the ion cannons. And I do have some of the footage I'm showing me killing bosses with the scourges and with one of these ion cannons, which I do also have a really good rolled one at level 50 with the swapping places with your digiclone. If you don't know what these are things you charge up and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. These are still one of the strongest boss killing weapons in the entirety of the game. And as you guys can see in the footage, I can still one-shot Trons with all level 50 items at level 57 on Mayhem 4. So that is incredibly strong still without even getting a level 57 version. So that is the entirety of the build, all the talents, all the items. Subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this build. I will be doing a build like one of these type of builds with all level 50 items for a flak as well, and then I will start doing builds that are using all level 57 items that are going to be much stronger. So thanks for watching.
Take a look at me, little friend! Shoot him!